who stood before a large crowd, speaking with all the passion in his heart. He emphasized that people must learn to forgive one another, for if we cannot let go of others' mistakes, how can we ask God to forgive our own? His voice rang out powerfully and full of emotion, moving everyone who listened. Many felt his words awaken something deep within them, urging them to reflect on their own lives and how they treated others. He believed that forgiveness was not only an action, but also a path to inner peace. As he ended his sermon, he smiled with satisfaction, confident that his message had touched the hearts of many. After the emotional sermon, the man and his wife walked home hand in peaceful silence. On the way, his wife seemed uneasy and quiet for a while before softly saying, "There's something I need to confess." The husband turned to her, still lost in thought about his sermon, and asked, "What is it, my love?" Taking a deep breath, she said she had sold his golden watch to buy essential things for their family. She admitted she had been hesitant and afraid, but his sermon about forgiveness that day had given her the courage to speak the truth. The husband was stunned, unable to believe what he had just heard. The peace of a moment ago vanished, replaced by shock and rising anger within him. Hearing her words, the husband suddenly lost all control. He slammed on the brakes, and the car came to a sudden stop on the empty road. His face turned red with fury, his eyes filled with disappointment and disbelief. He shouted, "What did you say? You sold my golden watch? That was my most precious keepsake." In a burst of anger, he slapped his wife, leaving her dazed. He went on to scold her, demanding to know why she hadn't come to him, insisting he could have helped. The wife's heart ached, but she remained calm and silent, bowing her head. In that moment, the man completely forgot the words he had preached earlier, about forgiveness and compassion, the very values he claimed to uphold. After being struck and scolded, the wife stayed composed, her gentle eyes filled with empathy as she looked at him. She smiled softly and said in a calm but firm voice, "I just wanted to see if you truly knew how to forgive, just as you preached today." The husband froze, his eyes wide, still processing her words. She continued, "Don't worry, your watch is still here. I never sold it." She then reached into her bag, took out the familiar golden watch, and gently placed it in his hand. Silence filled the air. The man stood there stunned, ashamed, and remorseful, realizing that he himself had failed to live by the message he preached, to forgive and to control his anger. That moment sank deeply into his heart. The husband sat quietly, his heart heavy as he stared at the watch in his hand. In that instant, he understood that the sermon about forgiveness he had delivered earlier was not just for others, but also for himself. He felt deep shame and regret for letting anger cloud his judgment and lead him to act against his own beliefs. His wife remained silent, her gentle eyes full of understanding rather than blame. He reached out, took her hand, and said softly, his voice trembling, "I'm sorry. I was wrong." In that moment, he realized the true meaning of forgiveness. It is not found in beautiful words, but in actions that come from the heart. From that day on, he understood that forgiveness must begin within oneself, before one can ask others to do the same.